deal. This is Port 1119 with Head Frame Hunters here in Ketchikan County, New Mexico at what I think we're going to call it the Piñon mine. So this was I think this was maybe the shop. And they did some work here in the early to mid 1990s, and I believe they had a couple small LHDs, maybe a haul truck or two, and that's a air filter, outer air filter for a loader or a dump truck or some such. Gives you an idea as to the time frame. And then here's the office. It's been ransacked by scrappers, teenagers. Long Beach, California, 1968. LA, California rules. I beg to differ, but okay. Whatever you say, Mr. 52-year-old graffiti man. The portal's in this way. It's a pretty good sized portal, which is what has me thinking they ran rubber tire. It's probably 7 feet tall, 7 feet wide. Probably fit a young buggy or some such in here. And well, there is a massive flow of cool air coming out of here, and the fact that we unlocked the gate should say something. So this is pretty wide, maybe 8 foot back, 9 feet wide, and this looks like it goes up into a stope in the back. There's this little drift here heading back towards the surface. Can't tell what's going on there, but somebody left a chem light.
Slusher cable on the floor.
Yeah, I was thinking this looked like a slusher drift. I don't see an eye bolt.
But I don't get what that gob wall's all about either.
I don't either.
Is that a mag door?
That does appear to be a magazine door back there in the distance. One of my exploration partners is saying he thinks we probably got 12,000 CFM of air coming through here. So with let's call it a 100-foot cross section, that'd be 120 feet per minute, 2 feet per second. It absolutely feels like that, and that's enough natural ventilation right there to run a pair of IMCO 911Bs. We're in altered ground here, kind of like we encountered at the Banks mine. So this district is very similar geology down there. It's a 2 down there. It is andesite and rhyolite with high grade gold silver bearing quartz veins.
Mine's the back you're under is not too good.
Yeah. This stuff is not good. You can sort of see how it tries to slab off of the ribs. There's a fair bit of fall rock here, so we're keeping our wits about us. So in reverse from my usual philosophy, we're opting to follow the right-hand rule today. Came to three-way intersection. That's a remuck bay there. I'm sure that was for when they were slashing this open, because this is an old mine. Now, coming to the right, all of our natural ventilation short circuits. So whatever our ventilation source is, it's down that center drift. Now here's some of that nice rhyolite. It's kind of purplish gray rock.
Got some water through here.
Heard a little bit of water intrusion.
You notice the wind stopped?
Yes. Yeah.
Smells hella musty in here too. I wouldn't stay too long.
Yeah, I got my meter on and calibrated.
Understood. Wish you still had your HOS.
Yeah, oh, me too. My hydrogen sulfide meter fell off my pack on the side of a mountain in the middle of the night.
Alright.
Keep on keeping on down here, and we'll
Want you back?
cut back if we hit something interesting.
Spooky.
We've cut. It is. We came to the end of this this cross cut. There's a. I'm looking off to the right. There's a small storage area with shelving, significant ground fall. Then we come into whatever this is, and it's all the way to the back. So I don't know if this was material, if this was backfilled when they slashed this open to avoid creating a surface disturbance, or if it was it can't be a draw point. That's not ore. It's,
No.
ore is distinctive in this kind of deposit. That's not ore. Or if it was ground fall.
I'm gonna vote ground fall. The back is higher by enough.
Okay, so
Above
there's
it.
a cave space. Then timber down here with some ceramic electrical insulators. And then off to the left, there's whatever this is, which what I'm thinking happened here. This was all orderly placed here. When they slashed this open with their larger equipment, they probably removed all the old timbering, and then that just caved back there.
Yeah, because that utility's going all the way back into it.
Yeah, it looks like air and water lines back there. Well, this takes the cake for the single coolest thing I've ever found underground.
Yeah, I think there is something here, Steven.
This is a single compartment underground shaft, but look what's still here. Air receiver in this sketchy wet drift. They got a retaining wall back there, retaining a whole bunch of sludge.
Yeah, what you got back there, guys?
But good lord, it's a underground head frame built out of I-beams.
Put that back there on and along the back line.
We know we are aware of who did this, and that is not surprising for the individual in question. So here's your single drum underground hoist.
That has to be bare to move in
Pillar
here.
block bearings. Oh, I'm sure they just put on forks on an LHD and moved it in.
Maybe in pieces.
Oil pressure, ignition key. So this was electric. Man, you don't find this.
Still there.
You don't find this stuff underground very much. You said the shiv is still there?
Skip, if you want to call it that. That's a real generous term. Or not even a skip, it's just a man platform.
This is a massive, massive ballroom in here. So what happened, it's pretty clear now. So this is the vein, and I think I can get a good angle here.
Collapsed stove right there.
Yeah, that is a collapsed stope. So he sunk this incline shaft directly along the vein, along the dip of the vein. So minimized his cross cuts. This collar makes me a little bit nervous. Heard my buddy say, the skip, if you can call it that. So I don't know what they were doing with this thing.
That's a poor boy's man cage. I know that's disgusting, but that's exactly what that is.
Well, I see what was going on here. There's the upper part of it, so it's almost like it was held. It was kept under tension, and or maybe this was the roof, and then the lower part was kept under tension, and then the chains would allow it to swing along undulations in the shaft or something. I don't like that one bit.
There's a couple things about this that make me think this predates Hanson by, like, this is late 40s.
Do tell, other than the bacon strips down there telling me they were working in.
They could have been working later, but the steel on this frame looks just like what's at the East Camp. I know that's not much of a clue, but
You're talking the McDonald shaft?
yeah.
Yeah. So we figured out something very interesting about this here hoist. Number one, that's an oil pressure gauge. Number two, when we come over to the drive side of the thing, this is a freaking U-joint. It's been torched off. This was a diesel hoist. There's an oil stain under where the oil pan would have been. It was a diesel hoist.
Dear God.
And it ran on Mountain Dew.
Hard rock miners run on Mountain Dew, nicotine, and hatred. Yeah, here's all your 12 volt. This is where it
Also
was
Red Bull?
hooked into the engine's electrical system, so the hoist operator could see it. And that also explains why there's a key on the instrument panel. Diesel underground hoist. That's a new one on me, but it's a cool new one. I mean, this thing is as awesome as it is sketchy.
But seriously, this shit.
We found a cofferdam here, and what I think they had going on, so they had this plugged up, and then there's a valve here to provide water, and if they were working on the lower levels, then this would have allowed them to, it would have acted like a water tower and provided water under pressure.
They may have had an aquifer here.
It's possible. I know the mine, the south here, is the only one in the district that really required pumping. And this is, I mean, it's not muddy back there, but this opening is probably 1.5 feet wide by 1 foot tall. And I mean, I can fit into it. It just won't be fun. And there's some things I got to be paid for, and I think this is probably one of them.
So for those who don't know, in fault systems, like say the San Andreas, depending on which side of the fault you're on, there can be up to a few thousand feet in difference at the height of the groundwater. We know that this area, judging by what we've seen with the fault lines, hosts very different rock on either side. So I'm wondering if they hit the wrong side of a fault and it started leaking on them.
It's entirely possible. And with this right here, they made good use of it. And we're coming into that right-hand drift out of the hoist ballroom. There's this collapsed material up to the right, and then right here we've got a well, see what's going on here. There's a piece of fuse sticking out right there. So they misfired this. Those holes don't go back more than a couple 3 feet. So they shot it, found the misfire when they were mucking it with their LHD. Oh, there's a remains of a powder bag. Found their misfire and got out. I think they were probably driving this in the footwall of the vein, and then would have planned to develop more stopes off of it. So this would have been the future of this level. And I don't know what they were doing with that shaft, but it goes down quite a ways. Looking off to the right of that drift, we found the source of the ventilation. There's a massive breeze coming at me. First we thought this was a stope, and I think this likely was a drawpoint, actually, because it is on the other side of that stope we encountered in the hoist ballroom. And there's a drift that continues out that way. quite a ways. And there's Boku cold air blowing at me. So we're going to head topside and see if we can figure out where that air is coming from. Catch you on the flip side. So please pardon my god-awful doctor-like handwriting, but here's a rough map of the Piñon mine that we've been able to explore on this level, and this is all we can get to on this level for from this portal. So coming in, got that drift off to the right with the magazine and the remuck bay, those caved older workings, and then all those timbers that had been pulled out, then the ballroom with the air receiver. There was a small rock or retaining wall off to that side, and a whole bunch of mud behind it. And then the shaft, the hoist, that collapsed stope that it matches dip with. Right here where we are with that partially mucked round with the misfire in it, that caved drawpoint, the cofferdam. That I think that's what connects to that other mine that I've been discussing.